Well, our buddy, our friend, Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, you hear him all the time here on KCMO from 1 to 3. He joins us to try to figure out what to make of a jobs report that the administration, the people in charge are bragging about. It came in below expectations, 187,000 new jobs. They thought it'd be about 200,000. But they're saying, hey, look at this 3.5% unemployment rate. Things are great. Everything's good, despite the fact that Main Street is not feeling it. And poll after poll after poll suggests the American people aren't happy with where this economy is at by and large. Ken, good morning. What do you make about the news from Friday and how it's applying to Main Street?
Well, Pete, it is not an extraordinary report, as you said, but it does show that we are at a really low unemployment rate. But that's not because of what the administration claims of Bidenomics, which was a joke. That was a term of derision, and they've now turned it into something they're proud of. This is a function of we don't have as many workers as we need. In other words, willing workers. We still have more jobs available than we do have people who are unemployed. And so inflation is the problem. No matter how low unemployment is, no matter how many jobs are added, you cited the American people are unhappy with the state of the economy, and they're unhappy with the prices of things. That's the bottom line. And so inflation is going to be stubborn, Pete, as long as you have a huge gap like we have in the jobs market. In other words, when there's so much demand for workers, prices are going to stay stubbornly high, and this is wage pressures. And it's a result of all the PPP loans, all of the unemployment benefits. The government just kept putting out money, too much liquid in the market, and it's going to take some time to cycle out. So that's the weird thing that we've been talking about for months when I'm on the show here with you. Yes, unemployment rate historically low, that is good, but inflation is still stubbornly high.
It is, and one thing you noted there is the fact that there's more job openings still available. And it's something we've talked about, but, we've got a crisis here, especially with able-bodied young men, about 7 million of them just not in the labor force. And now, as I understand it, Ken, no longer counting against the unemployment number if they're not looking for work. So how is that number, I guess, not giving a full portrayal about where we're at when it comes to millions of able-bodied young men in particular just simply not working? And frankly, I don't know what exactly they're doing.
Well, they're being supported by people. That's the problem. They're being supported by the government. They're being supported by family and friends. And here's an interesting trend that I think is coming to America. I think we're seeing a little bit of it right now, but I reported on my show recently that there is a new phrase, Pete, and I hope the top of your head doesn't come off when you hear this, but it's called full-time children. This is a thing, and it's very popular in all places, China. Now, what this means, Pete, is that you've got kids that aren't going into the professional workforce, and they are working for their mom and dad. They are doing household chores, errands, in some cases health care for their aging parents, all in return for free room and board, food, or they're being paid by their parents. And this is a rejection of the 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week culture in China, and it's very interesting. I bring it up for two reasons. It's going to be happening here in the United States. I'm beginning to see more and more of it. And so you add this dynamic to the millions of men who just are being supported because their feelings got hurt and they're in their basement playing video games. You're talking about this coming up like a tidal wave out of nowhere. The economy cannot continue to carry all these people on their back. We need workers because we've got so many jobs that AI and technology will continue to spin off. So this is a storm that's brewing, not just for the United States, but for China.
Wow. All right. Full-time, what would it be? Full-time children?
Full-time children. This is the term, full-time children.
Oh, my goodness. All right, and you know what they're going to do, though, Ken? They're going to blame the cost of, health care, senior living facilities. They're going to blame that. That's what the blame is going to be put on. And how if there was only a program that would lower the cost of, senior living, this would all be solved.
Right. So this is a problem. When you have less workers out there, again, let me tell you where this is going. This is going towards a universal basic income in these younger generations. Here's why I brought that whole story up. because we, the people, need to be vigilant. We need to be prepared to understand that this younger generation is more open to things like unions and universal income. And let me tell you something. Those are the seeds of socialism, and it doesn't work.
Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, is on KCMO. It's always good to have him on. All right, speaking of trends, Ken, I saw this in the last couple of days. I was looking over the weekend, and I said, Ken Coleman's going to know what this is all about. Lazy girl. What is what is lazy girl?
Well, it's the latest TikTok social media sensation where a girl's video goes viral because she basically says, you need a lazy girl job where you can work from home, and it's highly remote, even in the actual work itself, and that it's all on the computer and you're just checking in, and it allows you just to do the bare minimum. So it's the silly cousin of quiet quitting. And again, it's an anthem. It's, hey, find you a lazy girl job. The whole crux of the video is find you a lazy girl job where you can do the least amount of work possible and still make a decent living. And again, you're lowering the bar. See, it gets portrayed as I don't want to be stressed. I want to have balance in my life. And it's just insidious because what it is, I'm going to accept average and I'm going to take the bare minimum. And the more I settle for that, then the more I think, well, I just deserve to live this really chill life. There's no American spirit there. There's no spirit of excellence. And I got to tell you, again, I hate to keep beating this drum, but I'm telling you, this mindset is prevalent with this younger generation, and more people are buying it, and it sets you up for universal income. It sets you up for just, I deserve this, I deserve that.
Okay, I can't even wrap my mind around this concept that now you have people bragging about basically doing as little as possible, but they're the ones sticking it to the man. But here's the thing, Ken, when they wake up in 10 years and their careers haven't advanced and they have no real skills to apply to the labor force, they're going to be the same ones upset that they've gotten, air quotes, left behind by the system.
That's right.
That's what they're going to do.
Right. You're absolutely right, Pete. Did you hear this? This is a glorification of the word lazy.
Yeah.
In what world do we live in when we talk about being lazy like we're smarter than everybody else? It's mind-boggling to me, and it is a real cultural problem.
Mm-hmm. Ken, last thing, and we know that student loan repayments are going to be starting here in about, 8 weeks or so?
Yep.
October 1, those pick back up after a 3.5-year hiatus on those student loans. You predicted well this morning where you think the conversations are going to go moving forward. How do you see that one playing out with all that we've been through at the Supreme Court level and everything else around student loan bailouts?
Well, I'm a little concerned, Pete. I think there's two storms that are coming. I think the student loan repayment, a lot of people haven't been paying those. They haven't worked it into their budget, and I don't think they're going to until it hits. And I think you're going to see and feel a lot of pain on that. The second thing is a lot of young people got into the Airbnb market with that money they weren't spending on loans. We're seeing this, and you've seen it in the news. I know you've probably covered it. There's a glut of Airbnb properties where people didn't buy them for personal reasons. It was all just for rent. And so you're going to see that market begin to reset. So there are a couple things right there that are going to hit consumers where it really hurts. And I'm a little nervous about it, but I do think we're going to see a lot of pain in the student loan and also in the real estate market coming in the next 6 to 12 months.
Well, Ken, we'll be talking to you about it throughout the fall. We always appreciate your insights, and we'll be listening to you soon, my friend. Always appreciate the time.
Yes, sir. And, hey, no lazy guy on the radio today, all right? Bring it.
No lazy guy on KCMO. You're the man, Ken. Thanks.
That's what I like. Appreciate you, brother.
You bet. That is Ken Coleman. Good to have him on KCMO Talk Radio.